Hey yo, it's Lyarrah, and today you join me back over here on Create SMP, where I have heard you loud and clear. Harvesters work on berries. The problem is not that I didn't know that harvesters existed. I've actually done a whole video before about a contraption harvester. It's that I didn't realize that they worked on berries. So if I'm not oops, that's the wrong direction. If I'm not mistaken, I should be able to just slap that on there. Put that on there and right. Okay. This is the first time I've ever used this is the first time that I have ever used one of these. So I did not realize that even for just one I had to give it an extension pull. So let's try this again. Okay, well that technique's not gonna work. So I guess what we're gonna have to do then is we're gonna have to put it on a minecart contraption or on one of the spinny wheel contraptions. The reason why I tried to set it up like this was I was hoping that maybe I could just have a row of like 3 or 4 berries because, yeah, we're going to be limited by the speed at which the chickens lay the eggs and at which the berries grow. And I figure those will probably even out. You get 2 or 3 berries every, well, that grew straight back. But I'm willing to say that, like, let's see what the recipe is again. Okay, 6 berries. Wait, what do you mean we don't need eggs for the... Okay, so the berries are the only limiting factor. Okay, I was gonna get some eggs set up, but we just need lots of milk. Okay. Let's make ourselves another minecart. Go ahead and assemble this one and pick it up. We shall put together the most basic harvester we can with a chest for good measure. Blue minecart, flip the switch, and alright. That is now set as a harvester, although I'm realizing that I can't have... Hold please. Okay, take 2. Now I should be able to harvest with this. The problem was before that the harvester was kind of trying to go where the rails were. And the berries and the rails can't exactly occupy the same space. So we're gonna pick this guy up, head back over to the old farm. I just realized I don't know which of these contraptions is which, so this could be really funny here. Okay, good. I got the right one. The plan here is, because I did not think to bring any powered rails, that we are just going to be giving this thing a shove. Get going. Yay, it is doing what we want it to do, which is harvesting without just breaking the bush in the process. And that netted us 12 berries, just like that, so 2 berries a bush, approximately. If I'm not mistaken, this does call for, yes, wheat as well. So there's really no sense in not just setting up whatever harvester. I'm gonna make it prettier than this, don't worry. There's no sense in not just setting up the harvester to do the wheat and the berries on the same one and then get sorted from there. Actually, no, because the berries are needed at a much later stage in the thing, so it might make them... We'll see how the space looks. We'll see how the space looks. You know, I was gonna say that there's literally nothing stopping me from making pumpkin pie at the factory as well, and then I remembered, actually no, you can't make those with pie crusts. They're a completely different recipe that would need me to grow entirely separate things. So maybe we'll add that later. I feel like the chocolate pie would be appropriate as well, but there again, we'd need to get both the sugar and the cocoa beans to do that. We're not doing apple pie because the apple pie is very clearly not cheesecake. Alright, so now that we've got the harvester part figured out, we'll grab that back up, and it's time to deal with the cows. I need to grab a couple buckets of milk here because I need to find out how milk physics work in this pack. And by that I mean, will it treat it as a liquid for the purposes of putting them into tanks? I feel like our best option is just to go ahead and build a drain and check it out. So we need a copper casing, which is just strip log with copper. Okay, can do. And some iron bars. That's no problem at all. All right, one drain coming right up. Plop this sucker down and find out if we can pour some milk into it. Oh, good, we can. So the reason why this has me so excited is that this means that rather than having to deal with there being buckets on an assembly line anywhere, we can just have a tank filled with milk. Like we can have a cow being milked into a central tank. This is nice because both the pie crust recipe and the cheesecake recipe itself take milk. But here's another thing. I wonder if they can even be mixed up in the mixer or if they have to go through a shaped crafter. Because if we check the pumpkin pie, for example, I believe, yeah, it says automated shapeless crafting. It can do. But the cheesecake, on the other hand, yeah, it's shaped crafting only. Oh boy, that just complicated things substantially. Well, how about the pie crust? That can be done via just plain mixing, and yep. That was how I was hoping the cheesecake could be done as well. But all I have to do is put the wheat flour straight into the milk and it'll give me pie crusts. Okay, so we're definitely going to need a whole bunch of tanks, so we'll go ahead and get the copper started. Right, I still have this one set up to be manual. Let me grab a couple more gearboxes and fix that. Okay, I think I should be able to just go like that and that. And it's slow, but it'll go. And I've got a couple minutes. And I'm gonna need a few minutes to go ahead and test things on the cows anyway. So yeah, this is really slow. Let's just a little better. Not much, but a little better. Now, I don't think anybody has any leads around, and I really could use one of those with the cow. I think I'm popping over to the mob farm to just steal some string. Hey, look, string! And that should let me make a lead. 2 leads, actually. And is there a way to get a cow out of here? Of course not. Okay, cow. I'll grab 2 in case, and since I have 2 leads anyway. Grab that. Pull you 2 out of there. Come on. Come on. And we only had 1 escapee, so. Simple enough. You 2 are coming with me for right now. Alright, we got most of the copper done, so we'll start making some tanks. Which actually use a lot less copper than I remembered, and a lot more barrel than I remembered. Okay, well, let's just go ahead and make what we can then. Alright, and just like that, we'll be able to have a milk tank. We need to get some more not smashed copper out for the pipes. A pump, we're gonna need a pump, that's what I was thinking of. There we go. Hook that up to my drain, not drill. Milky, milky. And that is stuck on there at the moment because there's not enough space for it, so I think what we need to do is attach a cog for the time being. Excellent. So, I mean, obviously we'll have this automated in some form, but we have our tank, we have milk successfully going into it. I still don't have goggles, so I can't actually see how much milk is in there. Alright, so I guess that makes our next stop a crafting montage. Okay, first stop, goggles. See, and they need some glass, which I don't have, huh? Are you on there? Go find some place to still 2 whole pieces of sand from. I'm glad I grabbed some extra string earlier. Alright, there is our goggles. There is our goggles on our head where they belong. Okay, there we go. That's better. And what the goggles do is means I can look at things like the water wheel and see how many stress units it's putting out. Just 256 for this one. And this is using 128 of that. This is very important because it also means I can see how much milk is in here. Our next most important thing is going to be a total of 9 mechanical crafters for a full crafting board. This is where things get ugly. I need to get some electron tubes, which means I need rose quartz. Means I need to go into the nether. So much for the crafting montage. We made one whole thing and now I've got a different quest. Alright, let's go ahead and see where this portal leads. Oh hey, it's got a, oh no wonder it's got a safety box. It's got a lot of very not safety behind it. It occurs to me that there could be piglins here. And that could be a very big problem. But this is quartz. So I'm just going to get the quartz and leave. Okay, that's a zombie piglin. That's not a problem. I'm not wearing gold, basically, is why I'm like low-key freaking out right now. And the fashion police and I do not get along very well. And now I slowly need more sand for the sandpaper, if I'm not mistaken. Sandpaper, yep, it is. Okay. All right. Let's go grab some paper. We have sandpaper. We have quartz. I believe actually I need a full crafting table for this. And quartz, redstone dust, 1, 2, 3 pieces of rose quartz. Put the sandpaper in the offhand and polish it on up. Advancement made, pink diamonds. Man, that's a spoiler. Sandpaper into my backpack in case I need it, along with my glue and my crank and everything. Yay, electron tubes. And then the big old mechanical crafters we need to make some brass casings for, so I need to go use the brass mixer. And here is the mixer that the guys set up. Basically, we have our little friend down here that I'm going to feed a piece of charcoal to. He heats this up and this mixes it. And how we go ahead and use the mixie is we apparently completely overshoot throwing my zinc in. We throw in the same number of copper ingots and it'll spit back out some brass in a moment. While that's going, I'll put down those so we can make the brass casings. Oh, it made 12 brass. Nice. I didn't realize that was going to happen. I should probably be making a bigger deal out of hitting brass age, but, you know, we had this sitting around already. I didn't have to do much. And looks like I need to make a couple more crafting benches as well for this. All right. 9 mechanical crafters coming right up. Hey, all right. Now, these are not where these are going, but I wanted to explain real quick what's even going on. These are like an automated crafting table. Basically, I can put stuff into here and it'll spit it out the end side after I... There we go. So basically, if I were to fill this all up with items, they would follow these arrows to combine until they all wound up finally in this last spot. And then I would have to put a depot or something else that's an out over there on the side for it to spit onto. But this means I can make cakes like this. This means that, say, if I were to go, you know what, let's just do it. Let's just set this up real quick where it can get activated. There we go. Now it's being run by my... Oh no, it's overstressed. Oh no. Let's make a second water wheel. Water wheel size 2. Oh, this is only a regular size. Oh, okay, yeah, let's just make a regular size again. We'll need these big ones for other things later, but for right now, this is okay. There we go. 2 water wheels is enough to get it rolling again. All right. And now I'll go ahead and demonstrate. I just fill this up like that, and then we slap a button onto the side of it to give it a redstone signal. Here it comes. And it creates a chest, which obviously is something that I can do just fine. But this means that this is how I'm going to be making the cake. Will be, you know what, hang on. Do I have the ingredients to make, no, I don't have the, I do probably have the ingredients to make a cake. Hold up. How do I make the pie crust again? So 1 pie crust. We're gonna need 2 buckets of milk, so we'll have to get another one here. But so we go milk, pie crust, milk. And since it's all filled, it starts automatically. Oh. Our first cheesecake. Hey! Our first cheesecake. Ah. Where do I put it? Where do I put it? I guess just on top of my crafting table. Look at it. It's so cute. Now this one I'll just go ahead and eat off the table. Did that just give me speed or something? It made the screen change somehow. Oh no, it does. Cake makes me fast. Okay, so what we have learned today is that cake gives us a sugar rush. That is fantastic news. Obviously, this is the end point of my entire thing. This is the final piece that the rest of the factory needs to feed into. So, number one, we've still got a lot to make for the rest of the steps of the factory. And number two, we got to figure out where we're even setting this up. Tell you what, though, if we are going to be using that, I want FOV effects off. That way we aren't just going to be continuously switching between the fast FOV and the, we'll put it on a little bit. We'll put a little bit, like 10, which that's way more than 10. I appreciate the 50s all the way over here. Excellent. That shows how much they wanted to ramp this. I'm genuinely glad about that. I'm not upset about it in the least. That should mean I can eat this last slice of cake, and it only changes very slightly. So you're not going to be seeing my screen just change all over the place just because I'm eating. Well, I was going to keep terraforming over there, but these guys seem to be guarding the area. So moving on. All right, so I did some terraforming and have set myself up a nice little spot back here, which I hope is going to be enough room for it. It is also going to invite others to build around the area still. I just nearly thought I had elytra for a second. That was going to be real bad. So we want to make sure that we leave ourselves enough space in the front to theoretically build a little restaurant and enough space overall to have all of our machinery. So I feel like our actual like finish making the cakes point should be around here and probably up one, all things considered. Here we go. So there's where the final part is. And I personally do actually like to work backwards on mine so that things are the minimal tangle of cables that they have to be. If this were a straightforward single product starts out, single product comes out at the end, like an iron farm or something, I would start at the beginning, but this has so many inputs coming into it that, yeah, we're starting from the end. Next step is figure out how we're getting the supplies into these, and in all honesty, as much as I could use hoppers, I kind of want to go full scale and make mechanical arms. I don't know. I feel like I'm overdoing this already. I feel like this is a really big project for episode 3 on accident. What do the arms use? Well, peeps, I have horrible news. If we're gonna do a mechanical arm to put things into here, or, well, multiple mechanical arms to put things into here like I was planning, because I wanted one for the berries, one for the buckets of milk, and one for the pie crust, so that I can sort them out that way. Because otherwise, I don't know what happens if you try to put hoppers or whatever into here. I'm gonna make mechanical arms, though. That, unfortunately, calls for precision mechanism, and precision mechanism calls for all kinds of this. Yeah, which I've done. I know how to do. It just is very time-consuming, and that's going to turn this into, like, more episodes than this is already probably going to take. We're going to scoop these up and move them over to the water wheels so that we can have a source of power while I'm playing around with this. Oh, good. Sloy, you're here.
Yeah,
Alright, do you guys care if I take, like, a lot of iron? I'm gonna need some hopper spaghetti back here.
I mean, no problem. That's why the farm is there. And also Pigglesworth apparently made a better iron farm anyway. So that's going to be an entire thing.
Oh, is that what's periodically been popping by in chat saying it's got a farm overflow?
Oh dear God, seriously?
Yeah.
I feel... Okay, I swear I'm gonna start like a police force punishing people for creating lag.
I mean, that's
Speaking of, why do you need hoppers anyway? Just out of curiosity.
I'm making cheesecake.
Okay.
So I need the hoppers to get the stuff into here because otherwise I've got to make some mechanical arms.
Mm-hmm.
And that just is not, no.
I mean, well, the thing about that is you don't actually need mechanical arms, like, plural. You could just have one mechanical arm, and it, like, puts stuff into these funnels, and then you just filter the funnels to have the ingredient that you need.
Oh.
Yeah. And I
But
mean,
don't
additionally,
we-
you can just bypass having mechanical arm whatsoever and just conveyor belt stuff inside.
Okay, because for a second there, I was worried. What happens if it picks up an item that there's currently no space for, and then it's just holding on to that one with the other one still needing items
Yeah,
in it.
it
But
will.
this would get around that.
No. Yeah, the filtered brass funnels, it will just put whatever items it can in whatever holes it can. It doesn't really differentiate. But like
Yeah.
honestly, you might not want to because we don't have any like precision mechanisms. So just like I don't know, put some conveyor belts. You can even input from like a side or the front even to the thing. Actually, you can even shoot it from the top.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I constantly forget that the funnels exist, to be honest. Like,
No, I mean, you
think
shouldn't.
about them.
They're pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, you made a lot more conveyor belty stuff than I did. I'm on the last Create server we were on. I just am more of a contraption person. I need to remember, indeed, that conveyor belts exist and that I can absorb things off of them. Okay, well, this probably I'm now going to have to go smelt a bunch of kelp, but that is a much easier process than making precision mechanisms.
Yeah, the longer you can go without making a precision mechanism, the better, frankly.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's why you still don't have a jetpack.
I will this. Shut. You were about to make like 8 mechanical arms for each one of the like slots of the mechanical
Hey,
crafter.
No,
You're not one
only
to talk.
three. Only three.
Oh yeah, because you have 3 ingredients on this.
Yeah. But yeah, I forgot that these act as filters too, so thank you. Also, I'm just getting the wheat going before I do anything else over here, because it takes so long to grow that it'd be nice to have some of it ready when we get the mechanism that far. Okay, change my mind, drag this back over here so that I can have a better idea of how much space everything's taking up, and am pretty satisfied so far. So here we have where the actual output's going to be. This still actually does have one more step that needs to happen after it, which is chopping it. And I think that's going to happen along this side, and like the entrance to the place is going to be about here. So you come in, you can see that happening, you look to the side and you see it get... Regardless, this is where the berries are going to come from. So we're going to wind up having 3 spots where berries will be growing right on here. And that's going to involve a bit of this going on. If I'm not mistaken now, if I throw something in there, yep, it'll wind up all the way down on here. The other conveyor belts that are coming out the back are 2 on either side that are going back here to get the milk. And this side is going over here to have the pie crust come to it. And the pie crust needs both the wheat and the milk. So that means that I can have the milk being pumped in from over here. Meanwhile, the buckets of milk are being taken to over here. Yes, I'm going to have 1 cow that's being milked from 2 sides. Deal with it. And the wheat is going to have a contraption just going back and forth on it, harvesting and dumping off right around here. It's come to my attention that what I need here is not actually the funnels. I mean, I still do need those in a couple of places. Like right here, I have borked this. I've just realized these all need to go into the bottom. Anyway, that mistake aside, we'll fix that. Not funnels. We need tunnels in order to do all this stuff. These are the ones that let me go ahead and split things out. So we can have stuff go into one and it'll come out multiple of them. Oh, by the way, you can also dye conveyor belts. I might want to think about doing that here. But unfortunately, brass tunnel means more electron tubes, which means more polished rose quartz. So I'm over here polishing things again. All right, moment of truth. Let's go ahead and... Okay, that's the wrong direction. That's the right direction, and that is everything spinning the right direction. That is conveyor belt moving the way, whoops, gonna need to remember to hold shift to do that, but conveyor belt moving the direction that I want it to move. Yes. I don't have this part hooked in yet. I'm not entirely sure how I want to go about that. This work if I just... Yeah, I do have another gearbox. How about that? No, that's going the wrong... Hello? Airport aesthetic. Okay, I'll take it. I don't know why I just got that, but okay, no, that is backwards. So what can we do here instead? If I hook it to that, that's the same thing we just did. What if I hook it to that one? Hey, that's the right direction now. All right, awesome. And of course, without thinking about it, I've gone and put that shaft onto here. Next stop, actually making those tunnels. So I've run into yet another horrifying way that this is ridiculously overcomplicated and I should not have tackled this project so early. The empty buckets. We have to figure out how we're getting the empty buckets back to the rest of the world. Or by that I mean back over here to the milking chamber, milking parlor, what are we calling it? I don't know. I'm hoping that I'm remembering right. This should make it so that if I have an empty bucket on here, can I? Okay, empty bucket on there. We crank that and nope, it does not get absorbed by that. Is it because this wasn't spinning too? All right, let's try this again. Now that one's going to, no, that's still not how this works. So I need something else for this. I think we're just going... All right, let's try this now. So we'll go ahead and filter this for bucket still. And that should mean that if I put a bucket on here, it's going to get grabbed by that and keep on going. But if something else, which is going to be cake in the case of this, comes down the line, it just goes on past. I'm sure there's other more creative ways to do this, but this is the tried and true method that I got very used to in my previous Create playthrough. So it's what I'm sticking with for right now. Time for an update. We have cow, and it is being very much menaced by the things around it. We have two separate milkers here. This one goes into the line over here and gets split out to do the two sides of the cheesecake. And this one here goes into a drain and then goes into here, and I still gotta figure out how the empty buckets make it from here up to here. My instincts are just saying dispenser chain, but I know that that's not how we work things here. The reason it's split off into two things like that is because the pie crust, as I mentioned before, can be made in the mixer. So it just takes 3 wheat, and I keep forgetting about the fact that they need to be ground up. So we're still gonna have to fit a mill into this whole building too. But it can have liquid milk in with it. And so we're pumping the liquid milk in here from the second milker. So I'm gonna go ahead and figure out how I'm getting this to work and get the wheat contraption set up, and I'll be right back. I have been reminded of the existence of the weighted ejector, so we're just gonna go ahead and make one of those and use it to move stuff up to the top rung. It looks like I need to go smash some gold real quick, but that shouldn't take me long. So I think we need a chute on top of here real quick. And then if I remember how these work correctly, whoops. Ta-da, potentially? Is that gonna? I mean, I guess the only way really to find out is to get it rolling. So can we use a hand crank on this one? Bucket goes on there, it gets launched, and it went, whoops, right into there. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So this side will survive with just the 16 buckets that it's got, because it's just going to be constantly recycling them. All right, let's see. Cow milked. But it's just dumping them out the front, not straight onto the drain. So I came out here to the mob farm to steal the sand around it, and I have been distracted by whatever is going on with this mountain. I mean, first of all, there's a lush cave inside there, so I can go get some glowberries for us finally. But more importantly, what is with these leaves? What? I gotta get some shears and find out what kind of leaves these are. That makes me think that it's jungle. So we are in a lavender valley, so that would explain why these, which are dark oak branches, have dark oak and was the other one? Oh, I didn't actually. Yep, jungle. Combination of dark oak and jungle leaves. Weird. But look at this. We've got this cute little waterfall coming down the outside. We've got bits of drip leaf on the outside world here. I do not have the inventory space to be like exploring up here right now. Yeah, I've been in a Lush Cave already this game. I already have an axolotl. I don't know why I'm this surprised to find one. Ah, crud, I forgot to bring a bed with me. We're just out here for a little bit of sand so I can make a little bit of glass. I don't need nearly as much as I'm grabbing here. But, like, the less soon I have to come get more, the better. Dude, and there's a lava fall down the side of that mountain, too. That is, If we were doing individual bases, I would be trying to figure out how to live on top of that mountain right now. Alright, so our next input is the flour. So I moved the wheat field out of existence for the moment, since I think I need to reposition a little bit. I gave us a little bit more space here. So I'm predicting that I want to let this drop down because I think that I'd prefer having this dispense down here, where basically we have the chute, the mill here, another chute there, and that chute there will be dumping the wheat into the mill. Now I could do this higher, but doing it at the height that I've got it at. Hello, can I? Thank you. I've just realized that I think I can attach the portable storage interface directly onto there because this counts as a block that it's moving stuff out of it. So that means as we start this guy up, nope, we want this to be connecting to outside the building. So barrel on top of there, funnel on you. This is going to be our passage through our wall, and whatever wall we are going to have here is going to go along here. So actually, I think I want to put this up one more so that I can make it underneath this. This is going to be especially annoying because this is going to be the only spot that I can actually power this thing. Okay, so I'm going to do a trick that I used on my last little harvester I made too, which is, well, not quite what I just did. We want it facing this way. There we go. And now that looks like it's a cute little wheel that it's scooting along via. Do I need nearly this many barrels? Probably not. Do I expect this whole place to get a little bit backed up? Yeah, pretty quickly. Once again, I have failed to remember that this needs to have the minecart in it somewhere. I still really like the aesthetic of that though, so maybe I can put it on the other side? That there. There we go. It's hideous. It'll do for now. It also occurs to me that we're going to need water for the garden, so I think I'm going to actually just hide that underneath the rails real quick. And let's glue it all together. We go there to there, we go there to there, and we go there to there, I guess? Maybe? Yes, that seems to have attached it all together. Guess the only real way to know is to go ahead and flip the switch. Temporary blocks at both ends. Give it a nudge. Oh, back into the hole you go. We gotta fix this. Okay. Block rotation. That is what we want it to be on. Let's give this another try. Scoot. And perfect. And it's now doing what I want it to do. Not completely accurate. It is not attaching to this because I have put that on the wrong level. Alright, take 3. I like it. I feel excellent about this. Let's roll with it. We can pretty it up later. Alright, so we're going to leave this turned off until we, well, at least until the wheat is grown, but until the rest of this is done. Partially just so the noise doesn't drive us batty. And now we come to the part y'all are going to hate me for. The berries. So you see how this works and how adorable this is and everything. I don't want 2 of them making noise in the place here. And I don't feel like the berry bushes that I want to have is enough space to justify one of these. I think I just want 3 berry bushes, and because of that, I think going with my original plan, where we till this on up, have our berries here and our fingers over here, is still our best option. That does mean that I need to make 3 more hands, but I hope everybody will understand that I'm doing this for the aesthetic, okay? These hands are expensive. I'm starting to run low on brass. All right, so it's not tested yet, but it is theoretically complete as far as like the mechanisms go. So wheat gets harvested, it comes inside, it gets milled, it goes on up into here. Milk gets milked, it comes through this pipe into here. That produces pie crust. Pie crust comes down here. I do want to put some kind of sensor over here so that when this produces a pie crust, it sets these off potentially, or I may just let them continuously pick, I'm not sure. Meanwhile, on the other side, this also milks the cow, and that'll send 2 buckets down the line. The 2 buckets get split out to either side. The pie crust comes on up here, and then the berries come from over here. All right, so that looks all put together. That looks, yeah, that's it. That's the checklist. Now then, I need to power the whole shebang, and I'm just gonna gloss over this part because I'm sure that we will go over it more in depth in another episode, but this one is long enough as is. And we have liftoff! We have a functional boiler over here that is putting out 248 stress units. It is not very fast, as you can see, but that is fine. This place does not need to move with much speed. It is controlled by the speed at which the wheat grows, so everything else is you know, what it is. So now comes the fun of taking a bunch of gears and stuff and lining these up with everything in here to get everything run. This is going to be some complicated stuff.
Is this our new area? Is this
the new area, yeah. And this is theoretically one shaft away from being a working factory for cheesecake.
Nice.
So I'm going to put this in. Well, actually, pardon me. It's 2 things. Well, the other thing is that I have to get this minecart rolling. So, ahem.
Oh no, I don't want to be a cheesecake.
And now I put the shaft in.
Pokey berries.
Pokey berries. Pokey berries go. If there are at least 6 berries, it will make a cake.
Oh, it's doing stuff here. Oh.
Yep. Okay, so there's all those, and we just gotta wait for the mixer to do. Oh, I didn't hook the mixer up.
Ah.
See, this is why we have tests.
Exactly. What's the mixer doing?
It is making the pie crust.
All I could think is chicken run. I don't want to be a pie. And is this harvesting wheat over here? So it only harvests it when it's ready. That's very cool.
Yep, that harvests it when it's ready, and it drops it off onto this here, and that brings the wheat over into the grinder, and the grinder brings it all up and puts it into here. And then here, let's see, I think I'll go from this side to do this. This is just going to wind up obscenely fast because it can be. Oh.
Oh, man.
That was one thing too far. Really? Well, I have a solution to this. Yeah, it still functions on the smaller. Okay. All right, so that should mean that the cake is going to be yeah, it's mixing. It's raining. Is the mixer mixing? The mixer is mixing. Oh, okay. I have made one other error here. Okay. I'll be able to fix that though. The seeds are coming through right now as well.
Oh, there, and it has enough. There you go. Yeah, you've got your flour coming through. Yeah, the seeds in there.
I'll have to fix that, but that is... Oh, it should be... It's making it! It's making it!
Oh, I missed it! Ah! I gotta wait for the next one.
And there it goes.
It's a cheese.
And it'll pop right off the side.
Oh,
yep.
God, I shall bring you your first
Yay! Thank you.
The fruits of your labor.
Here, let us place it down and enjoy it.
Oh, I'm not hungry, but that's okay. it's still beautiful. I can still appreciate how beautiful it is. Amazing. I
And
like
I
that.
can go ahead and throw our backlog of berries into here and get it to craft a few more that way. There we go.
That's so cool.
Right.
Cheesecake.
And the empty buckets go back like they're supposed to. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. This has come out perfect.
Right?
Now I just need some way to store all the cakes that are coming out of it, but you know. Well, thank you for coming over to watch the machine work. I'm glad that it did.
May I take a memento of this
You
occasion?
absolutely may. Take a few. Feel free.
Thanks. I wish this was real life. Feed me cheesecake, machine.
All right, so the only troubleshooting that we really needed to do was making sure that the wheat seeds stop getting into the system. For right now, I have just made it so only wheat will come out of this. That does mean that this is slowly going to fill... Oops, I'm sorry, machine. This is slowly going to fill up with seeds somewhere in it. That's not ideal, but it is a fixable situation in later, and so little troubleshooting things like that are what I'm going to be saving for next episode. The other two far more obvious things I'm going to be saving for next episode are the cake slicer, so that the finished cakes actually, you know, not only have someplace to go. I should fix that real quick too. Oh right, I keep forgetting there's a hole down there. There we go. Now they've got someplace they're being collected for right now, and later on we'll be able to set up the cake cutter, and more importantly, put a building around this whole place. We're also just gonna yoink one of these off for a second so I can do that, and then... oh boy. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe I do need more berries. Maybe I do need to switch it. But for right now, I think that I'm gonna call it an episode. So thanks so much everybody for hanging out today. If you had as much fun as I did, make sure you leave a like. If you're new around here, hey, please subscribe. Take care everybody. Toodles!